Everyone wants to watch us for 8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hours. Now we're going to talk about the thing with. Hello, YouTube. We're three guys that make robots, and we're talking at you now, so you could watch it for 8 hours. I don't know if the other guys had enough time to come in yet, but hey, guys, it's Stinky Linc, Wright. I'm here with Andy and Paul. Hey, guys. And we're here with a couple of the guys from the Paint community, and we thought we'd try a couple of new things today. One is trying out this nifty software with YouTube where we can do a on-air hangouts, as you guys have probably seen before, and you don't just have to listen to me. There's other people in our little world, and we thought we could try, cover a little bit of material, some things that we've done over the past year. Kind of a top 5 cool things that we saw over the past 12 months, and get some feedback and talk with you guys about what we're doing. So I'll introduce the guys. Do a quick rock, paper, scissors for who goes first, if you can, dudes. And that will be hilarious on Google Hangout because it's not real time. Let's know. And so I think Paul had coffee, so he wins. Or do you need still a couple more minutes, Paul?
No, I'm good. I've had coffee.
Okay.
Happy.
I need to soften this, guys, for Paul, because Paul's up in Korea. So the time that works for us here, the poor guy is up just before he went to bed. You can tell by the lighting there, it's still nighttime there, isn't it, mate?
But I got 4 hours of sleep.
Wow, the luxury. We could do a Monty Python skit on that, couldn't we?
Yeah, it's still dark. So
the one of the cool things I've just mentioned. So as I introduce these guys, I hope you guys don't mind if I mansplain you a little bit for everybody. I thought it was really cool, especially to have these gentlemen on, because they're both industry professionals that have a very interesting insight, and a slightly different point of view to our world, but it's still very connected because they're both artistic and community. Paul's one is a community, but you know what I mean, right? They're tangentially, in my kind of the way my brain works, I think they're quite related. And the reason I've said that is because both of the gentlemen over the time talking with them in the PoP community have made very astute observations, and they've been super helpful to me. I thought they could be helpful for everybody as well. We'll kick off with Paul. So Paul's up in Korea. Paul is a creative designer, an art director. Has many titles under his belt. You do everything from web design to brand creation to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Are you okay to do your own spiel, Paul, or do you want me to keep getting it wrong?
No, you keep getting it wrong. It's better that way.
Okay, cool.
It's much more entertaining.
I know, right? And he's Paul. So Paul came on pretty early. I'll get to some of these later when I do my little thing. But Paul's been very interesting and has a lot of cool insights, looking at things from a brand design point of view. And Paul's a very accomplished Gunpla modeler. When we first met online, Paul was making Gunpla at a very high level, and then he subsequently gave Machining Krieger a test out too, and did very well straight off the bat. It was very, very cool. So Paul, so I'm supposed to be introducing you and letting you talk, and then I talked. That's the thing. Sorry, Paul.
It's all good. There's not much else for me to add to that. I mean, I know,
right? Sorry, I pipped all of your good content. Sorry, bro.
I've been a creative director for over 20 years, and primarily in print, and of course with doing a lot of branding that involves a lot of web work as well. And I've had to learn a lot of that stuff just because no one else in my agency did. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
I do have one serious question. The red bat phone down in the bottom, your bottom right hand.
That's a direct line to Rocket Man.
Batman.
No, Rocket Man up north.
Even better.
Yeah. Doesn't work. It's a prop.
So if we don't see him at the same time, you're either Rocket Man or Batman. If that phone rings and then something happens on the news, we know either way, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. You didn't think that through putting that in shot, did you?
Mm.
Dude, where is that a? Oh, no, it's not rotary. I was gonna say, man, if that was rotary, that would have been so awesome. It'd be 60s Batman, wouldn't it? Hey, we have viewers. Is there people heckling us yet?
Yeah.
Where's the chat? I'm mashing buttons. See, I see chat between you guys, which is kind of superfluous because we're talking. And I guess I have to look at it on the other one. But hey, guys, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the awesome banter. But next up, so Andy. Andy works in games, which is, it's kind of related to what we do, right? But we're the same kind of people. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in our group who doesn't also, play and enjoy games. And you're a game designer, right, Andy?
Yeah. Now, I started off as a games journalist and finally made my way into development.
Yeah. So I'm mashing through buttons. I wanted to skip the chat because I'm missing out on all the heckling.
I just went to YouTube and started the video up and got the chat that way.
Yeah, I'm just worried if I push mash on that one for it to play, does that create a paradox?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about right now. So
yeah.
Open it up and then pause the video. You still get the key.
Okay. Because, I just think a blue box will show up and a raving gentleman will jump out and me to turn it off. Hey, Tabs, if I do that, which doctor do you think would show up? A recent one. But it's time travel. He doesn't have to be recent, you see. It could be one of the really old ones and he'd show up all in black and white and stuff. Think about it.
It's not on TV, it's on a very old screen, so it's not black and white.
Okay. See, the world has moved on from black and white, so apparently there's a time shift there that will not enable the older doctors to come along. Might also be because they're dead. And Andy, you did game journalism before that, right? Game journalism and then...
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked on games magazines for, over 10 years. Then moved into community management and then finally into development and as a game designer.
You did community management?
Yeah.
All this time and you haven't told me?
I'm sure I mentioned that.
No, I just wasn't listening.
I was community manager for City of Heroes in Europe.
Oh, it's awesome, man.
Superhero MMO. It was lots of fun.
How many things are we doing wrong now?
We're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well.
Because I'm totally making this up as we go along. Every now and then you Google how to community, and the stuff that comes up is pretty crazy. But it's actually been pretty easy. Our community is so awesome. It kind of runs itself, right? We just needed to provide a place and a platform for everyone, and then everyone's making it happen.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a really nice bunch of people. It's
awesome.
Yeah, it's been great.
Quick shout outs. Tristan's here. RJ, the world's best ever tambourine player. Nobody can play. Could you imagine somebody tambourining the heck out of Enter Sandman by Metallica? RJ, it was really good. Tristan, Trug's here. Trugman, Stephen, Adam. Hey guys, Ryan. Man, it's still working and you're here. Nice one. Oh, well, we've got a really full team. Hey, Ben. Cool. Alrighty. We were going to talk about some top fives. What are we into this? Like 20 minutes into it and we haven't hit that topic yet. So that's a standard pop thing. It's been a really, really good year. It's kind of flown past too. It's already, second week of December, right? I was thinking we could talk about some moments that stand out for us over the past year, because I think we've done and accomplished a lot of cool stuff. From 0 up to you know, we've got decent numbers across various platforms now, and met a bunch of new people, made some new friends. It's been really awesome. Do you guys want to go first, or do you want to let me? You guys should go first. You guys should go first. Otherwise, I talk too much.
Paul should go first.
Okay.
Paul should go first because he's eating, so we should make him talk. And there's Tabitha, actual size. Sorry, Paul. Are you
products, people, just anything.
Everything, right? What stood out for you as good things that happened over the past 12 months for us?
Well, for me, one of the big things was just moving outside of my comfort zone in terms of, you know, what I've been building.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, when I built models as a kid, it was mostly planes and tanks and that kind of thing, mostly planes. And then, of course, I didn't build for almost 20 years. And it was only in the past couple of years that I started getting back into it. And it was because I was in a store with my son, who's now 5, and he pointed at a Gunpla on the wall.
Cool.
And he was like, I want that. And I said, that's cool. I want that too. So let's put it together. And it was a little SD kit. And then I started getting back into, you know, first it was just snapping them and watching him smash them. And then I started getting back into the whole thing.
Right.
So,
I could put a lot more time and effort into these, paint them, decals, do all of that, modifications, and then you can smash them.
Right, pretty much. And then that turned into buy one for him to smash and buy one for me to smash. Right? So, but for me, it was moving outside of my comfort zone in the sense of not just snapping hits, right? Yeah. So doing some scratch building and things like that, but also moving into other genres, discovering Machine & Krieger, which up until, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, I'd never even seen one of the kits because most of the stuff I would buy online, and it wasn't until I started seeing some of the other things going on that that I was like, oh, these are really cool. They're very appealing to me aesthetically. And then
is it because I made Gunpla that it put Machine & Krieger in front of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that might have worked. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And now it's primarily, I mean, now I'm building less and less. I'm building less and less of what I'm used to building and being comfortable with, and building more things that are outside. Like I did an airplane this year. I haven't done an airplane.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, and tiny little, you know, biplane, but like I'd never done rigging before. So it's a lot of firsts for me. They're not really first, but they're first again, you know.
Yeah.
And then learning also that you know, along that process, like I always, when I did see the Machine & Krieger stuff, all the Matt K stuff, I was one of those people that looked at them and said, oh, that finish, that hand painted, you know, that hand done, I don't do that, right? I'm an airbrush guy. I don't.
Right.
And not only that, I use 95% of what I paint with is acrylic, right? So I was like, oh, hand painting but as we all know now, as proof in the pudding is that you can hand paint acrylics and have a very nice finish. So
did you prepare that ready for the show, or was that just there?
Did some homework.
That phone, the MAK kits.
Yeah. So that was. Have
you got a bunch of stuff ready?
No, that's it. That's just blew the whole one. That's all of it. Oh no, I do have something else ready.
Dude, he's totally
Product. Oh, did I just drop on the floor? Products. This was another thing that was a big.
You're a shill.
I am. I'm a shill. I'm not even getting paid. I'm a shill in training.
You're owned by the man.
But
the stuff that you actually like.
This was my, you know, if we're talking about top 5 things from PoP, this is, I never would have picked these up.
Right.
If it's your fault. So
totally different kinds of makeup, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm used to wearing this. So moving from these like this kind of oils, but I found these oil brushers were something that I'd seen, but I was like, whatever, gimmick, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I kept hearing they're really not bad, and they're not bad. They're actually really quite good and very handy and clean, which is not what I think of when I think about oil paints. And that was very like kind of. I mean, I wouldn't call it super innovative, but it is in a sense. I mean, no one else was doing it, so. That was my sort of favorite product from.
This is something that I think I keep talking about fast and easy, but you're exactly right. The clean part is really good because have you guys ever had oil paints on yourself where you get it on your hands and you accidentally put it on your clothes or?
Yeah,
and then it's everywhere, right? Because it's oil paint.
Yeah,
it's durable, it goes everywhere. So yeah, the cleanliness of those things is about enough. About how you can get it out, put it on, put it away, and it's not everywhere.
Right, and you just leave them out and use them, and then there's not that whole pull out a piece of cardboard, blob it all over, let the linseed oil soak out. You don't have to do. You just open it. I don't really use the applicator, but I pull it out, wipe my brush on the stem, and then apply. Yep. Super easy. So that was the product I think that was sort of like stand out for me from the year.
Cool.
And then 40K. Right? So like
the funny thing is you were so, when 40K first came up, you were like, I'm not doing that.
Well, I still haven't, but at least now I look at it differently. I don't look at it as a tabletop game just, right? Like I look at painting figures, and for me that was another big thing. I'd never in my life painted a figure aside from, 1/40th, 1/100th scale,
right? Hey guys, Adam is saying that he's been trying the oil brushes as guy liner. I mean, you could try that. I personally, I go.
I don't know. Like
the waterproof version,
hair dryer and
Maybelline waterproof because I tear up a lot. So yeah, waterproof, but as a backup though, for some of the realistic colors that oil brushes do, I can use them. Depends on what sort of ladyboy gig I've got on that evening.
And then figures. That was
really. Oh, you got so back on target so well. It's like
on brand, on point.
Yeah, man, you're in your lane.
It's like he's on rails.
I have more
I'm the worst heckler on the show. Wow. Sorry, but go on your figures. Yes, figures.
Doing these was another huge, and it sort of comes hand in hand with doing the Machine and Krieger stuff, but never did this before. So.
And that turned out really well. Yeah.
I was actually surprised at how much fun they are, even though it's just, like I'm used to moving parts and Gunpla, right? So to me this was very intimidating, mostly because of painting skin, but it was really fun. Like I was really shocked at how much fun just doing that was.
And the paint palette, the color palette was really interesting for you because you were doing brighter colors for quite a while.
Yeah,
quite a while, right? So
yeah, and that's something that I think was what was appealing to me about Gunpla in the first place, was that doing tanks and planes and camos, it's like, okay, I have brown, I have green, and I have more brown. Oh, and I have a little gray. Right.
Yeah, I know Andy's got it. No, did you use the Dunkelgelb?
Yeah, right. Like
one with the Dunkelgelb.
So that's
fun. Did you get the right Dunkelgelb though?
Yeah. And what's rock brown? What's green called? Grun. That's right, olive grun. But anyway, yeah. I mean, we.
Not everything starts with the letters RLM, right? So that's always a good thing. And that's what I like about Machine and Krieger, is because you can do that, right? You can do that military camo, whatever, and pay really close attention, or make it look Luftwaffe or whatever, or you can go sort of bananas and make it hot pink and green, and that applies too. So I like that. And then just seeing PoP grow for me, from a couple guys, creepy dudes in the basement.
Because the three guys, I've got to tell you guys,
There are a whole bunch of creepy guys in the basement.
lots of creepy
guys,
dudes in
middle-aged
the
men.
basement. Mom, meatloaf now. You're right, because the first two people I invited in, was it three guys that we kicked off with? There was Paul was one, Nicky Blowman, Frogman, and Jason Bento, my other buddy. It was just, I think there was four of us when we kicked off.
Yeah.
And it was creepy, especially me.
And that allowed
most models and stuff.
all these other creepy guys to sort of find a place to, no, but really the pop.
Creepy
the
dudes
pop
need
group,
love too. I love you all creepy guys.
but there's really good work being
I
produced.
just lost 500 subscribers.
Thousands of voices across the internet just went silent.
Thousands of people. But everybody's laughing. That's right. Creepy guys, I mean, that's right. Creepy guys unite. That's why we made technology, so we could all be creepy together, but at home where we're safe. It's funny because it's true. And here we are. But we can have fun and it's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, Paul, your ideas are so much better than mine. I feel like I'm really upset that I let you go first now. I'll never do that again.
Let that be a lesson.
Note to self. Find someone less well-spoken and intelligent to bring on the show. Dude, that was brilliant. Thank you. And it has. And you guys have been brilliant in helping. You know, the community wouldn't have grown if we didn't have such cool people to start off with that helped other people come in and get it too. So,
but what I think is special about PoP is watching how fast people are progressing in the group from say their first few work in progress. I mean, there's a lot of guys who are professionals.
Andy, you just kicked off this year, right, mate?
Yeah, I mean, Andy's stuff. I mean, just look at the panel lining, like that you posted in the Discord chat earlier. Like that's super. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm still practicing. I'm like, dude, that's like better than what I.
It looks much better in the photos than it does in real. It does when I'm looking at it. But thank you.
The progression we've seen and how quickly people have made that sort of the steps that people are making, the caliber of the work that's coming out is really quite impressive. So, and that's nice. And I feel like it's all because of me. So, you know, there's that.
Dude, are you
I mean, there's this guy Link who comes around and he sort of like helps out now and again, but really we all know that.
Are you trying to do a Link impression in front of Link on the Link show? Who does that? That's funny. That's really good list. Thanks, Paul. You put some time and effort and thought into that, didn't you?
No, not really.
Okay, cool.
I just had enough coffee.
Actually, that meatloaf is still coming. That's what's that meatloaf? No? Okay. There's the tabs. You don't want to. Okay. City. Andy, are you ready, mate? What have you got?
For certain values is ready. Yeah.
I'm sorry following that one up. That's not easy because Paul.
Yeah, well, he stole several of mine, so that's gonna.
Paul nailed that. I mean, oil brushes done now. Anyway, I'll let you go, mate.
Yeah, well, mine are just kind of the top 5 things for me, really, because you know it's all about me.
It's really about you.
Everything's about me. So yeah, the number one thing for me, perhaps obviously, was getting back into the hobby. I mean, I hadn't built a model since I was a teenager, and I hadn't painted anything since I was at college. So you know, kind of.
When did we appropriate you from the influence? You came to see not that long ago, right?
Not that long ago. No, you have. You've got Model Making Guru to thank for it, because I kind of started following him a little while back. I just literally, I honestly can't remember how it happened. I think it was one of those things, you know, when you leave YouTube on and it automatically plays the next video, and somehow some gamey thing that I was watching, it may have been a gamey thing that involved mechs, and it started playing one of his videos about making a Gunpla, and I vaguely knew about Gundam as a show, but I'd never even heard of Gunpla, and I was really fascinated. So I started watching his videos, and that kind of started getting me thinking along the lines of, hey, maybe, you know, I used to enjoy painting Warhammer 40K stuff at college, and before that, you know, I used to make model planes with my dad. He's a carpenter, so he likes making things. And then, but one of the problems was that all of his builds, all of his good stuff, if you say, I mean, he did a couple of videos about beginners, but all of his good-looking stuff was airbrushed, and I was like, I was kind of scared of the airbrush, and didn't really feel that I was living in a place where I could get one, use one.
Right. Airbrush.
Sorry.
You are correct to fear the airbrush because they atomize paint.
Yeah, well, yes, fear the atomized paint.
Be clear of atomization in my life.
Yeah. But yeah, being atomized isn't fun.
Don't be atomized. Children, if you're watching this, number one, get off the interweb. But number two, don't atomize. Only atomize with parental supervision.
So yeah, and then in one of his videos, he talked about you. I think he was trying to do some hand brushing.
Oh, right.
And he mentioned you as like he watched some of your stuff and couldn't believe that it looked like you were just slapping it on, but it ended up brilliantly. And I thought, hand brushing. Now that I used to do the 40K stuff.
Yeah.
So I started watching PoP, and it was, you know, I watched a few of your videos, and that's what kind of really crystallized the decision. How I should give this a try.
Cool.
You know, I'll buy some models, buy some paints, and give it a go. So yeah, that was, you know, the number one thing for me this year was getting back into the hobby. I totally
deceived you on how easy it is, didn't I?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I had a vague explanation from like,
you know, I just feel like this, like this. I'm like, that's no.
You do make it look distressingly easy.
Mike Fox, right? Model Making Guru. He's a really good bloke. So if you guys don't watch him, please check out his show as well. He's and the main thing, Mike is super entertaining, really nice guy. He's funny. I watch his show for the comedy.
Yeah.
And it was they were the two shows I probably found first. It was Mike, the Model Making Guru, and Zach Aurelius.
Yeah.
Zach was brilliant just for how much Zach knows about stuff. But Mike was for just the way he did it. He had a lot of fun with it. So, and I remember he mentioned that one. He spotted the hand brushing thing, and he was taken. Yeah, that was cool.
And then the rest of my top five, like I said, Paul kind of covered two of them already. One, which were Machine Krieger, which I'd honestly never even heard of before.
Wow. Okay.
And I still haven't made one, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to. I do find it a bit intimidating because so many of the guys in the group keep making these amazing looking Mac models, and I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll leave it a little bit longer before I get one. And oils was the other thing that he's already covered, which again wasn't a completely new idea to me, but it always seemed like something that was really advanced and going to be a hassle, and the drying times and blah 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 blah. So it was, the oil brushes were a big kind of. So what, your first video was it the Ghost Kill where you?
Yeah, that's the one.
For the first time, I watched that and I thought, hold on, I could do that, and they look really kind of, convenient and easy. So I recently got some of those, and I've really enjoyed them so far. It's just, the kind of the potential of them, of oils, is enormous. So I'm really enjoying it.
You got Starship Belf.
Got Starship
Belf. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, that was my idiot mispronunciation. I often get things wrong in videos, and I leave it out because it's funny. I said another one too. I know you guys don't really watch my videos anymore because it was a really funny one. The Surfacer one. I know texturing isn't as sexy as weathering, but what was it? It was
Surfacer or something like that. Yeah.
Mr. Surfacer. I thought, should I do a retake on that? That's funny. Someone will heckle me about it, so it'll be funny. I'll leave it. Mr. Surfing's there. You got the new color though, right? There's another Starship color.
Yeah, it's a Starship base sludge, which in honor of Starship Filth, I refer to as Starship base sludge.
Sludge. Okay, that's awesome. So I haven't got the. I kind of have to point out to Emma. I say, hey, can you guys send me some of these ones? They send me stuff that I should shut up now.
Ammo, if you're listening, if you want to send me anything, then that's fantastic. I don't care. I'm not going to be like you can complain about it.
Companies send me stuff that I can't use. It's always the way. Or you know, they don't spend 5 seconds to go, hey, what do you need, or what could you use, what are you planning, and then we could make a plan and then do it. But it's been getting better. But yeah, I don't have any of the new oil brushes yet, so I'm feeling a little bit vulnerable right now.
You just can't match the eyeliner to your pumps.
I know. It's the that's what they know. They know that if I get the new ones, that I need to buy a new pair of shoes and a bag to go with them. It's that silver one. Silver's what I'm hanging out for, because you know, I've got these stiletto silvers in a silver bag from Coach. Cool. Okay. Is that that's your 5 done, Andy?
Well, yeah, I had a couple of other things, but yeah, that covers most of it.
Hey, we've got an awesome, there's a lovely lady joined, awesome dating site, Sarah23. Wow. Hi, Sarah.
We've also got critical mass in the chat that's started the bots.
Right.
Yay.
But you guys aren't excited enough about Sarah. Oh, well. No one beats sexy girls. Well, you can, but it costs a lot more.
Well, your first love is always special.
I was waiting for Paul to get that one. My top 5. I actually wrote them down on paper together with my workout notes, because it's
old school.
It's the hand brushing thing.
Yeah, I like phone.
So I cheated a little bit, because the number one thing I had to say, because it's in the last 12 months, but it just misses out. Am I allowed to cheat a little bit? Because the number one is YouTube.
You can't cheat. It's not your show.
I know, right? So technically, I started YouTube in 2016, but it was right at the end, and I didn't start it because I pushed a button and I didn't know what to do. But if I hadn't have started YouTube, nothing would have happened for me, and you know, I wouldn't know you guys. There's a few people in the community I already knew, but it just would not have happened at this kind of right?
So wait, you're talking about regrets already? I thought we were talking about.
I was going to say, so you know, if you go back in time, that's the thing you'll tell yourself not to do.
I'm going to invent a time machine just to. No,
Unpress that button.
What if there was something I could do over? I would start YouTube earlier. It's been really, really, really good. It's really interesting. I didn't know how hard it would be. There's always going to be that one that I laugh about. I mean, I could make the models, and people would nag and say, you know, you should do YouTube. And I guarantee you, I was having a laugh at the Christmas party with the guys down in Sydney. Is that 2 weeks ago or just a week? I don't know. I still feel hungover, so it can't be that long.
That's a week ago.
It's kind of a good and a bad thing, but communities often expect people, oh, you've won a GWC, or you've done this, you've done that. Do YouTube. It's just it's like a natural progression that's expected of people, right? But Paul actually mentioned something to me yesterday. We were testing out this technology, the Google Hangout thing, and Paul, I like talking with Paul because he explains things in idiot terms that I can understand. And one of the things he said was, videographer is a profession.
Yeah.
I know, right? But I'm an idiot. I didn't. model making is a profession too. It's quite unique and rare, and it doesn't happen that often. But you think, you know, and your friends say, because you do that, it means you can do this. But no, they're completely unrelated. And I in some ways, the videographer thing, making videos, I think it's actually much harder. In some ways, but especially going from 0 to 100 miles an hour in a couple of days. Anyway, but I still think it was the best thing that I've done as a PoP highlight, was starting PoP. But doing the YouTube thing, I mean, this wouldn't have happened. YouTube has helped all of this run along. I think everything works off the back of YouTube. So, you know, thank you, YouTube. It just wouldn't happen without it. But you can't, YouTube isn't the only thing though. I mean, if I didn't layer things on top of YouTube, it wouldn't have happened this way either. But I thought that was excellent. I mean, YouTube is just a fantastic resource for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got some good stuff in it.
But I'll be honest, I still have no clue what to do. It might look, some of it might look planned, but yeah, I got no clue. But I think they're getting better though. If I went back, I mean, those first couple of unboxing videos to kind of just learn ultra basics of video making versus, say, the last more complicated video I did was the building tips and hacks for the polar bear. There was no way 12 months ago that I could put out that kind of quality of information and content. If I hadn't have made videos for 1 year badly on YouTube, if that makes sense. So hopefully, you know, another year from now, I can gradually increase the complexity of the content I show, but show it in a way that's not too complex and is accessible for people, if that makes sense. Because my model making is probably, you know, the height of the screen, I'm probably about, what, 80% of my capacity, maybe. I think I can still learn a bunch more stuff. But my video making is still down here, so I've got to kind of get them together. Initially, I think partway through, I did drop it a bit to kind of match them up a little bit, but I got to get that one to there. Does the hand waving help?
Always.
Yeah, okay. Second big community thing. Now, I know this will sound odd, but it was the GBWC, Gunpla Builders World Cup visit. For me, was a huge community building thing. Like it wasn't PoP per se. It was really the Gunpla Builders Australia people and Hobbyco who put it together. But that one really changed. It changed both my perspective on the hobby and community, and really importantly, it changed my wife's image and point of view about it. I'll talk super briefly, but the Japan community that I grew up with over the last half-plus life, it's big and it's different. It's just in terms of scale, it's just so different. And they have a lot of fragmented communities, like a lot more, which is both good and bad at the same time. I don't think it's really comparable. Japan for the model making industry is such a one-off. It's like a different planet almost. You guys who've been there or been to events there, you'll see what I mean. Coming back to Australia and going to an Australian event, I was impressed with, you know, how professionally run and the quality of it was the first surprise. But meeting a group that was much more close-knit and that they were more mutually supportive, I mean, by saying that, you can tell what I'm contrasting it with, right? The Japan communities are a lot more competitive against each other. It really is. I've got to be careful how I say this, right? Even though it's in English, so it's pretty safe. But the community there, it's very competitive because gosh, yeah, it's like trying to explain Mars on Earth. It's everything, because I often frequent Mars. That's why I could use that analogy.
Well, it's very deep and narrow, as opposed to in the West. I think it's a lot more shallow and broad.
Yes, the people, the Sydney folks, well, the Australian folks who all got together in Sydney, they were a lot more mutually supportive. So the community aspect was a lot more enjoyable with them, for one. And I mean, they still felt like a clique, which was good. I mean, because they're together as a tribe. but the way that people interacted together, I know some people will say, no, it's not always like that. But no, it was. There were a lot more. You know, the party was really good. They all got together. They had a lot of laughs. And so that also gave me a model to understand how things can work outside of Japan. So I was able to homage that type of feeling and idea, and also implement that towards how we were building the community of PoP at the same time. But also work to, I think the groups can also, there should be a lot of crossover because, you know, we're the same people and we've got the same, like the same stuff. So that one was huge for me. It was both a big eye-opener, very educational, but a very positive experience too. That was from my side. My wife's perspective of it was totally different because she'd only ever seen me do that kind of stuff in Japan. In Europe once, but it's quite different. In Japan, I suffer from a few things. One of them is not being Japanese. No, really. I know how I sound sometimes, but no, I'm not Japanese. The set up there, it's interesting because you've got the sensei older dude class, right? And to replace them, they need to die. And I know how horrible that sounds, but that is really how it works.
Yeah.
When somebody has that guru level position, that's it. It's not a merit-based system. It's a seniority-based system. This probably happens in other genres and industries, right?
It certainly happens in Korea with everything. So
yeah, it's exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
So even though there was some differences for it, but so it became a limiting thing because what's it called in English? Do we call it like a glass ceiling, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a glass ceiling type effect. Tomoe could see it. She said, outside of Japan, you don't suffer with that anymore because basically the rest of the world, except for North Asia, mostly works on a merit-based system. Andy's out. Andy's out.
I'll just get a drink.
No worries, mate. But these were things I did see over the time that there was a bit of interestingness with that because I could get more work, say, with the European publications, and some of the Japanese guys weren't, and that caused a little bit of, you know, there was a little bit of friction. Friction is probably the good word because of that, because, you know, merit-based versus seniority-based. But anyway, that's just the thing. So Tomoe saw this. She saw the demonstration. She saw all these things. She saw the interaction with the people. Tomoe really gave me the big thumbs up on developing this, you know, both the PoP business and community. She saw that it can really work. And you guys will know, you guys who are, you know, in long-term relationships, etc., having that support and backup and, you know, the thumbs up from your owner is really important, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If she is negative about it or saying no, stop doing that, that's stupid, it's not going to go well for you, is it?
No.
But she's like, you know, she started doing stuff. She got back. She'd made one just before that. But yeah, that was huge. So that helped in two really big ways. So and that was Ryan. Ryan invited me to go down there. Ryan San Pedro. Thank you for that. Life-changing moment. That was really, really good. And it wasn't completely PoP, and it wasn't me. It was something invited to, which was fantastic. I've been nervous about mentioning this next one because I don't want to sound too self-serving. But this one was really, instrumental in making a lot of changes and propelling this along. If I didn't start this, a lot of things wouldn't have happened either. It was January. I started, and I was very unsure of whether going ahead with this or not. I joined another one. One of my friends, you can check his out, Ben Comets, Komets. He does figure painting. He's really good. And I met him at another show. We were both judges. I was science fiction mecha guy, and he was fantasy guy. and top bloke, and he was really nice. And he does patron only stuff. He doesn't do. I think he does a couple of showcases, etc. He used to do Painting Buddha. Have you guys heard that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like one of the top artists on Painting Buddha, and they're really nice guys too. But he confided with me. He said it was killing them to pump out free videos constantly, because the owner of Painting Buddha, he hadn't thought through the financial. He thought the universe would provide. Sometimes the universe says no. And
I hate when that happens.
No, but he gave me some really nice advice. But one of them was, he just said, "Look, be careful. The world has an insatiable appetite for free content." I've been an industry professional for 10 years prior to hearing that, so of course I knew that. But everything was new. Like the YouTube was new, everything was new. And you know, I was making 33 cents a day on YouTube. And that's part of it though, because it's new. So you know, it just happens and you're building it. So but starting off Patreon, I wasn't sure whether to do it early or later. I'd seen what happened with other people. They built larger communities, then tried to monetize it. And I could see that their audiences actually felt betrayed. And that made perfect sense to me, because I thought, right, they've built something based on the concept of it being free and then changed it. Of course, people are going to be pissed off. I would be too. It's like you've kind of gone against what you told them, right? You've gone against the expectation. I thought, okay, well, I better get this out in front early so people have an understanding that I'm doing this as a business. You guys have heard me. I'm not shy about saying this is my business now, right?
Right.
Yeah, I say it all the time because I wanted to be really upfront about it. I just thought that would work better. Transparency, it doesn't always work well for me, but I sleep better.
Transparency key, definitely.
Yeah, but I sleep better at night. I mean, there's nothing people could call me out on. If someone tries to call me out on it, I've already done it first, right? So, yeah. So that one seemed to work really well. But is that my echo coming back through? It is. I think
it's either Andy or me having the chat open.
One of you guys has made the paradox, haven't you?
I'm just going to close it.
Okay, no worries. That one.
It might be me because I'm just using the built-in mic on and camera on this laptop, so I don't know how good it is at not echoing.
I see. Stop now. No worries. Yeah, so starting that one off worked really well because I think it's given me a base, a core of people who are really into it to talk with and to work together with and see what's working and what's not. One of the things about YouTube is it's good at getting a big message out, but the feedback is not great because the comments are quite random and it's difficult to it's difficult to judge how much engagement you've got on your page. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But with the Patreon people, you guys have been super engaged with me. I really got to understand that I was building a very strong core community there. So that one has been a huge understanding over the past 12 months. So that one was really good. I don't want to harp on that one too much. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Building a strong core has worked super well with that. And because of that, I mean, these all lead on to one another. Having set up Patreon like that, I met Paul through there. I met both of you through there, but I mean, I met Paul there. Actually, I met Andy through the Facebook group first. But anyway, what I'm getting at is Paul coming through Patreon, not YouTube, he suggested the Facebook group. I'm sure it was you and Nikki.
Don't blame me for this.
Anyway, my memory is, in my memory, I've labeled. Paul was like, yeah, you probably have to do it. And like, all right, I'll do it to stop the nagging. But I think it was a really good idea. We started it like early in the year. You can look at the create date, but I just didn't have enough bandwidth to get it going at first. But that has been one of the big game changers of the year. Once I started mentioning that in videos and directing people towards the Facebook group, I think that's given us a brilliant platform to take off from, you know, for sharing and engagement. I mean, out of all the things Facebook is and isn't, it's a fantastic platform for engaging with one another, isn't it? Sharing content, sharing things, and establishing the ground rules of not spamming other people's content. And that was, you know, that was a Forrest Gump kind of brilliant move to say, look, just post your own stuff. And that's really taken off, I think. There's a lot less, you have to produce something to share, right? So that really helps the motivators to do it. So that one's been brilliant. I'm dragging it out. Sorry, guys. Last one was Christmas party, because the Christmas party I just went down to, right? That one was a brilliant, I know it's not PoP per se, but for community building, seeing how Ryan has built his, you know, Gunpla Builders Australia community. But it was, I've been in that community for just over, say, 12 months now. I went in as, you know, I didn't know anybody. 12 months later, I'm at the Christmas party. Seeing how that had progressed and the friends I'd made and how that had developed was very, you know, both just educational, but also very gratifying at the same time, because, you know, they're really cool people. And we had laughs, like crazy level, falling on the ground, laughs level. At various times in the evening, and meeting them at GBWC. Why isn't that easy to say? No, does anybody else have trouble saying that, or is that just me?
No, that's not just you.
Okay, GBWC, Gunpla Builders World Cup. It's easier to say the full bloody thing, isn't it? Gunpla Builders World Cup. Going from there to the Christmas party was brilliant. I mean, I was like all shy and nervous. I probably couldn't tell. But yeah, that Christmas party, that was brilliant. So seeing how communities develop, that was really good for me. So thank you for that, guys. Alrighty, you guys will be going to sleep. I better let you talk. Products. I did products separately. Did you guys have any other products that you used in the last 12 months that you thought were really awesome that you didn't talk about yet?
No.
No. Okay. Real quick, so oil brushes, that one was really good. Sparmax kit was fantastic. I was going to Instagram another picture of that because I had it out yesterday. I was priming and spraying the base colors on the Machining Krieger figure. And grabbed my Sparmax kit. That was really awesome. Ammo acrylics for the first time. I used them this year. And they were actually pretty good. I was using the, if I had it ready now, I could have done a product placement. It looks like this. And it's the flash color set. I've never painted a dark complexion figure before. So I would have had no clue what colors to buy, right? I'll share pictures of it, but I started with the darkest one and sprayed up highlights up until midway through the set, and then stopped. Done. It was pretty easy. That was pretty cool. The Wright nippers, those nippers that Ryan gave me. I've tried one other pair of, no, what do we call them? What does the industry call them, guys? Premium nippers?
Sure.
Like God hand, stuff like that.
Yeah. Expensive nippers.
Paul, you've had God hands, right?
Here's ones he prepared earlier.
I know, right? Oh.
Not worth the money.
I think the most expensive ones I had were some from Nishima-san, who there was some sad news about him. Poor guy recently, just a couple of days ago, passed away.
Wow.
Rest in peace, Nishima-san. You'll be sadly missed. But every time I use those nippers of his now, they'll think of the poor guy. But That's the reason I'll put them away and keep them there for Minishima-san. Make a little shrine in my modeling area. The ones I got from Ryan, though, I think they're actually better. I've never done the two. I didn't know it was a thing until I made Gunpla. So I really should have added Gunpla as one of the things, the revelations of this year, right? Because it's different. Gunpla's a thing. I know you laugh when I say that, but Gunpla it's different to what I thought it would be, and it's a lot more than I thought it would be. And it's amazing how you learn stuff doing different genres. I know, again, that's pretty, obvious, but Gunpla, the two nipper thing, like the heavy lifting nipper, and then the premium nipper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one was quite a thing. But probably if I can't use oil brushes, you guys took it. You guys have probably used it before. Ammo one-shot primer.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that would be one of mine.
Mind-blown product of the year. Ammo one-shot primer. Because I used it again yesterday, and I was like, "You want to talk about ammo one-shot primer?" That stuff, I don't think I can go back. I've got another set from you guys saw yesterday. I shared some pictures. I was showing some mission model paints.
Yeah.
I like the paints. They sent me some primers. They read well, but I had them, and I had one shot, and I just went, I know the one shots really kick ass. And I used black, and then I used white. Oh, it's so good, eh?
It's
really
awesome.
good.
The ammo one-shot primer. How long have you been using it?
I just started using it this year. I was in a situation where I was stuck with what I could get, and for a long time I had to use Vallejo, and I was one of those people that was like, it was all I had and all I really knew. So I didn't really understand. I mean, I knew it. I had to be very delicate with it because you do, and it flakes pretty easily. And when it peels off, it brings the whole thing off, and you can't sand it. So I just got used to working that way.
Not sanding primer, eh? That's
yeah. So then I finally was able to get one shot here. Everyone was telling me, "Oh, you should try Steinelrez. You should try the." Because it's all the UMP, it's all the same stuff rebranded, I think.
You made Badger, right?
Badger makes Steinelrez. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's Badger's stuff.
Yeah.
The original one.
Yeah. So
and people are surprised
that
that Airbrush looking a bit like a Badger. I know, right? I keep seeing people who got a Badger. It's like they rebrand paint from them, and you're surprised that they went, "Hey, can we have one of them too?"
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't say it, but we're far enough into the show that I don't think people who don't like the show won't have seen those comments. But yeah, I shared a bunch of the unboxing things around. I got people saying, "Which Badger is it?" It's like, yeah, they do the paint, bro. Come on.
Yeah, but that was a good that really was like, oh my goodness, this is what it's like to not have to worry about, and I can sand it, and it was like, wow, this is what I've been missing. It was kind of like John getting his cataract surgery. It's like, I can see.
Yeah. You heard my gush in that video, right? That was like, I'm a shill, but I'm a genuine shill.
Yeah, no, yeah. So, I'm with you on that one, 100%.
I was so amazed with it. I can't believe it's not buttered lacquer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy, you've been using the ammo one shot too, right?
Yeah, well, I've been really lucky because when I started, I was planning on just doing hand brushing entirely. So apart from priming, so I got some spray can primers.
Yeah.
And I got some of the Army Painter ones.
Yeah.
And they're really good. It was really good. It was much better than the primers that I was using, like 20 years ago, right. 25 years ago. But when I got the airbrush, by then people had already started talking about Steinelrez, UMP, and I was lucky that it was just about then that I realized that one shot was the same stuff, and it was relatively easy for me to get. So yeah, I've been using one shot ever since I got the airbrush, basically, and yeah, but it's fantastic stuff. I can't really imagine there being a better acrylic primer because there's, it does everything you want a primer to do. So It's very cool.
Into it. Do you guys? Why is it so magic? What is it? Do you guys know anything about it? I just use it and it works. But do you know, Paul?
The only thing I know is that Badger has a chemist who worked for another big paint company. I can't remember which one, but he worked there for like he's incredibly experienced. I think he worked at a previous company for like 20 or 30 years. Had a load of ideas while he was there that he never got to do while he was working there, and then somehow hooked up with Badger. And the impression I gained anyway was that when he hooked up with Badger, they just said, "Do what you want to do," and it's his brainchild. That's what I think, but I could be wrong there. It's just from some stuff I read and from some YouTube videos I watched.
You don't believe stuff on YouTube, mate.
Well, no, it's all lies.
But
yeah, I think they've got a really good paint chemist.
Trust any of those people, those figureheads on YouTube. They're all told what to say.
They're all chills.
What to say? I could switch off. Hey, isn't it cool what you hear when people are given some free rein to do what they want to do? Because I've been approached by some companies. I'm not working with them to produce content for them, right? But they want it done their way, and which I get that too. If they pay money, they want it their way, right? But they I know this analogy might sound really weird, but you can probably find it too. I think it's on YouTube. It's somewhere out there. William Shatner was hired to do a gig, and it's a voiceover. And so they hire William Shatner, and they the director / producer nitpicks him on his delivery. And if there's anything that William Shatner has, he's developed that speaking voice that he uses, right? Speaking / singing voice, right?
Yeah.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds / you guys have seen it all, right? They're pretty famous, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this guy nitpicks William Shatner. Oh, could you say it a bit more like this? And William Shatner says, well, you asked me to do it. Don't you want my delivery? And it was quite funny because he says, well, you model, you show me how you want it to be done. And the guy was terrible, right? And it kind of went back to the point of how William Shatner was so good at it that they hired him for what he can do because he brings Will Shatner to it. I actually think I saw the same thing. What's his name? Bald guys of the world should unite on this one. It's Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was hired to do a role, and I think it was because I was telling this story, and a mate told me about this, and I looked it up. Bruce Willis did this one too, and he says, "Look, you hired me because you want effing Bruce Willis." You can imagine him saying that, right? Yeah, you hired me because you wanted jerkin' Bruce Willis. And yeah, I thought that was interesting. But that's what they've done with that guy, right? They threw a bit of money at him, got him to do his thing. Boom. World-beating product.
Yeah.
Genius. That's really awesome. Okay. We've got an hour, guys. I'm really sorry for talking. I told you guys 20, 30 minutes. I lied.
Yeah, but we didn't believe you.
At least the sun's up now for me.
We've kind of established that one, haven't we? Number one, don't believe Stinky Linc. Hey, I'll give the guys, let's pretend to give the audience a chance to ask questions. Pretend. If you guys have got anything real quick, I'm looking, what have you guys been chatting about? This is just gibberish. I'm heckling you back. No, Griftel, spoken word Shatner is the best. Isn't he right? That's what I mean. It was so, this guy saying, excuse me, Bill. Because, William Shatner says, call me Bill. Maybe you should deliver it like this. You should say, in a galaxy far, far away. And William Shatner just owned him. Yeah. Okay, have you guys got anything good? Any questions for us? Questions for the boys? Now's your chance to put them on the spot. I think your heckling of the other two lads has been quite restrained to somewhat poor today. They're too excited about the sexy girls who've been joining the chat. Pretty funny.
They do seem to have dominated the discussion, yeah.
What is your least favorite thing about Linc and Wright?
Andy's been in the chat. That's how bored we met Andy. He's been in the chat. There's 2 Andys. Sorry, Paul. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, Jacob Fowler. It's like, what is your least favorite thing about Lincoln?
The shirt.
No, at least you're wearing a shirt.
Actually, that's something we could talk about. For next year, I'm working to do something for men's causes. In 2018, I want to make it so that no man will go naked. I want to solve once and for all the challenge of male nudity. Male nudity will be a thing of the past due to PoP and Stinky Linc.
Only 1999. Call this number now.
Yeah, I don't think I can get it that cheap. But this is a test shot. This is a test shot for one. I should have another one arriving soon, so I probably should have talked about this at the beginning of the show when everyone was actually watching. Hello, 3 people remaining. Buy this. This one's so this is a test shot. I wanted to see how quality of shirts, see what they turn out like, and see how the print works out. So this is one, and another one. I've got a mate who's a designer to help me to talk about shirts, and it's amazing what people in the industry can tell you. It was really insightful. He said, get a neck hole for the shirts. Try 2 sleeves, 1 on each side, and make the bottom hem slightly wider than the neck hole and the sleeves to give it a T appearance. And you could call that a T-shirt. Yeah, I thought that's something that I think could take the world by storm. A T-shirt. Yeah. No Man Naked, 2018.
At least from the waist up.
Yeah. Okay, so people are asking for more polar bear videos. Really? So under my reward system, I'm supposed to provide 1 video per month. At the moment, I'm producing 4, and that's still not enough. So you guys just want me to die under the camera, don't you? One of the things with the videos is that you can watch them faster than I can make them. I know that's mind-blowing.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? But yeah, you can watch the videos faster than it takes me to make the model and do a video of it and edit it and upload it and do all those things. It's insane. It should be the other way around, shouldn't it? Oh, well. Yes, for my entertainment. Okay. You guys are good. Don't get professionals to do stuff. They are useless. That's so true. Pudgy middle-aged men. No, we won't have them. Yeah. Ryan's asking for, wow, that one didn't disappear. Do more Tom Ware Chops videos.
Oh.
I think that's why Tom Ware is not in the room today.
That was definitely a highlight of 2017, though.
For you, that's why it's not on my list. I'm still limping. It's a highlight for you. I had personal messages about that. Be careful, guy. People will think you're a weeb who likes Japanese women. I am a weeb who likes Japanese women. What's your point? I mean, my wife. Imagine if I said that. No, I can't stand Japanese women, and my wife was watching the show.
Oh, yeah. Nate just posted about Luca's new Schnabel gun. That's, that looks like a killer kit.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I think that's the one that's in the Mecha Part 2 book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really cool build. Is it the one? Did he do it like a satellite, or is that another one?
It's like a ladybug with a giant gun.
Yeah.
Looks like a cool kit.
Is he kidding that one?
What's that?
I wonder if he's going to kit it. Make a kit
I
out.
hope so. I hope so. It's big, but
all his models are enormous. That's what I find. I mean, watching him is terrifying, but the idea of actually making a kit that big is even more terrifying to me.
yeah.
That's one of the reasons I've been so. I've got my pink man. He's all put together. It's all ready to go. But how to capture the video of painting that is daunting to me. That's putting me off. I know how to paint it. I know how to do it, but I don't know how to film that and show it. So I'm kind of. I look at it and I put it out, and I'm scratching my head, going, "How the hell am I going to show that?" Because it's big. And I think doing big models like that, you either have to do you know how we learn to do like Warhammer and stuff, right? Warhammer stuff that are yay big. You either do that on the big one and take a really long time, and it looks okay, but it's difficult. Or you have to paint them like props, right? Like a movie prop. That's the way I want to approach it. I want to paint it like a movie prop, but not like how the hobbyists do it. You know, like the real guys do it. You have to do it pretty quick. It needs to be somewhat rough because it needs to read for an object that's that big. Doesn't need to read looking at it really close, right? But capturing that, wow, it's going to be really hard. I don't know. I'm not sure how to do it. So I'll watch Lucas and rip off his ideas on how he shows it.
I wasn't going to suggest that.
I'll probably have to talk about. I don't think we should kick off that other idea. I was going to ask about that. What people think about technology versus Tokyo trip. Actually, to see Luca, is that too off target to talk about now? Do you think? Have we gone too long already?
It's your show, man.
I'll try to be short. So I have a choice in a way. Well, we always have choices. That's why when people show recasts in PoP, I go, dude, you have a choice. Get out. I don't have a choice about that. If any people in the industry who make that stuff see that we have recasts in the group, you can't get rid of that. Once the recast thing sticks, you can't get out of that. So I've got a choice. Either if money were an unlimited thing, you can do everything, right? That's one of the great things about money. Is it gives you lots of choices. It's an enabler, isn't it? So I've got a couple of choices, but not unlimited funds. So you probably have to do one or the other. I can either go to Wonder Festival and interview Luca, because they've invited me to hang out at their table. I've hosted Luca a couple of times in Wonder Festival. This is Wonder Festival Tokyo in February, and I hosted him there, and I sold his kits for him. I mean, because I speak Japanese, when people came up, I would explain who Luca is. I'd walk around, I'd do everything. It was lots of fun too. A couple of the other guys will be there with him too. It's kind of, the planets are aligned, like Ragnarok. And or was that Dark World? I can't remember my full ones. So Paolo Parente is going to be there from Dust. Walter's going to be at the table. Walter does futuristic kits. They're called Futuristic Line. Does lots of cool stuff. And I thought, while that's happening, I can run around and grab the Machining Krieger guys who are always there. Koyokuyama Sensei usually shows up. And even if he's not there, I would just grab him away from the show and do like a 2-3 minute, 5 minute, say a quick interview, see if he wanted to talk about a few things that he's working on. So I thought it was a really cool opportunity for super unique content that probably only I can do, because you need to be able to speak Japanese to talk to all of the guys, but also the European dudes. It's difficult to grab them but I know them. And because we've spent lots of time together and drank a lot of beers together, I might be able to get better content out of them. Might. Luke is quite shy, so there's that. You've seen he was on Tested, but they didn't get a lot out of him because he's shy, right? Hopefully I can provoke him enough to let him.
You could make him angry enough.
Drunk enough.
You'll laugh. That would be one of the things I would ask too. I'd say, you know, look, I usually wind you up at drinking parties to see you go off at somebody, right? Because it's gold. He's the loveliest bloke going. He's an artist, so he's complicated, but he's a lovely bloke. But hopefully, I can provoke him into dropping F-bombs or something. Cool. So there's that option, or technology. I need to upgrade my technology. It's gotten to the point where I'm getting feedback from people. It's far enough into the show that I can swear now, isn't it? I'm getting other video makers saying, your videos are shit, mate. No, they weren't that bad. But there were some parts of my videos that need improvement. There's just a lot of things, technology things that I'll need to upgrade to get to the next level. I think 1 year I've run all these out pretty well, but I'm getting towards the end of what I can technically do with the equipment I have. So upgrading equipment is probably, to get what I need, would cost about the same as the Wonder Festival trip. So, and now I'm hedging it. I'm thinking, well, if I go to Wonder Festival, I can get lots of raw content. The technical challenges will still be there. If the content isn't popular and the show/business doesn't grow from there, it may be a wasted investment. So it's probably about $2,000 trip. That might be an investment that I can't recover from, and that would damage the business. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
okay.
makes sense.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I just wasn't sure if that makes sense. So yeah, everyone will go, yeah, do that. That's really good. That's awesome. Do that. And then that'd be like the read Japanese books. It kind of flops because they're not getting enough views or traction with it. And then I kind of, but that didn't cost me. I already owned the book. Just it was a bit of a time investment. Versus just going straight to technology. That one I don't suffer the risk, because I'd have the toys, right? You get the stuff, but there is the opportunity cost. I would lose the opportunity to get all of those people at Wonder Festival at one time this year. That may not happen again. May not happen again for a long time. So we may miss that opportunity. So that's one of the things I'm judging, which one to go for. I'd like to do both. I don't know if that's possible. And some of these things need to happen. So what I was going to do, I was going to ask the community, do you think it would be appropriate? One of my mates I mentioned earlier, Zach Aurelius, I was talking to him about these ideas, and he said he did a GoFundMe for his Tokyo trip earlier this year. Did some of you guys, I think Ben in Sydney, he was mentioning that he was watching Zach's Tokyo visit videos. Exactly, that was the kind of content that his audience got together and paid money. He did it through a GoFundMe. So he gave me that idea. So, well, my audience is a lot smaller than his for now. And I'm glad somebody laughed. But I don't know if I can pull it off as well as Zach. I mean, Zach has like 50,000 YouTube subscribers. He's got a huge audience, right? So he can put that out there and it might get traction. I'm not sure. Our audience might be a different dynamic too. It's hard to say. But what would you guys think? Would it be appropriate, inappropriate for me to do something like that? I already pitch a lot of business stuff. I'm not sure whether it would be taking it too far to ask for another thing, because I'm kind of hesitant about that myself, if that makes sense. I don't want to, you can't out ask what you provide, I think is something I want to keep. Does that sound fair enough to you guys, Andy? Paul?
Yeah, no, I think it, I
want to ask what I'm providing.
Yeah.
All right, because that would just seem wrong. I mean, I've got to produce enough for people, enough free content, then enough sponsored content, and then enough of this. I'm just trying to balance it because I don't want to come out like it's just all about the asks. But the asks would entail some give, because that content would be unique. But I thought another thing to do is, because I can't stomach all of the risk in putting that together. If I ask people, it would be like a test as well, wouldn't it? If I put a GoFundMe up and said, "Do you guys want to see this Tokyo content?" If people really want to see it, they'd pay. If they don't and it fails, well, then I'd know and I don't have to go and do it, and we'll try something else. That was my idea. I hope that came out relatively short, after 20 minutes.
Jacob says, we all know you're a moocher. And John's here. Hi, John.
Which John?
Bias.
Hey!
And he can see us now.
Tristan. See, Tristan, I'd like to get Tristan on the show. Because he's also a bearded older dude like us three. And he blend right in. Tristan says the tech will always be there. This is true. Content is king, especially if it isn't live. Issues this can be hidden. Yeah, correct. That's exactly. I thought this is kind of a one-off opportunity. I don't know that all of those people will be there again to capture.
I kind of have the opposite view, though.
Yeah. Please, Andy. That's one of the reasons.
The tech will help you make better content forever. If you say what I mean, it's a gift that keeps on giving, and there's essentially no risk to it. If you get
exactly that.
There's essentially no risk to it. If you get the tech, it will let you make better videos. It's just there's no if or when there. It's just a fact. It will help you make better stuff.
Yes.
Whereas, as you pointed out yourself, the trip, it sounds fantastic. Everybody's very excited and interested in the idea. But it might be, like you say, you might go make these videos and nobody bloody watches them.
Yeah, right.
And then you spend a lot of money and got nothing back.
More. One of the things is that they ask for more. Sometimes different kinds of content, you get more of that same kind of content. Can't you come and do content? You go and interview this guy. Can you do this? Yeah, could you guys help me out?
Don't get me wrong. I think the Wonderfest thing sounds awesome, and I would love to. I would love personally. I'd love to see you go. I'd love to see the stuff that you got there. But I think if you can only do one of the two, then the tech is an investment that is a guaranteed payoff. So my advice, for what it's worth, spend the money on the tech. Do a GoFundMe for the trip. And then, if you don't get enough money on the GoFundMe, then don't go to WonderCon, but get the tech.
Oh, you're interested, but you don't know the name of the event.
Sorry?
There's Wonder Festival.
And
he's off.
But that's just my opinion, for what it's worth.
No, you're exactly right. You're right. I was sitting there thinking through it myself, and I thought, that risk versus that is so my battery is about to go. The risk part is quite high, yes. Because I've been working the past 12 months. The past 12 months has been on this 13-inch. It's been brilliant to work on. I love the MacBook. It's brilliant, but 13-inch screen doing the videos. I think I'm missing some of what I'm editing because I can't see it. The little, when you're on a 13-inch screen, the little preview things. I'm working in Premiere Pro. It's fantastic software, but the little preview screens, they're like this big, right? So I've got some idea of how the finished video is going to look, but all of the nuances, you don't see it all.
No.
Color correction, shadows, and these are the kind of things people are mentioning, and they're correct. They're correct, but I'm not seeing it until it's, once you fully render it and get it up there, then you see it and you go, oh yeah, that's kind of crap. Okay. Yeah. No. But yeah, that was some ideas. I thought, Nate, beards unite. Oh, that could be a t-shirt, couldn't it?
Yeah.
That could.
Yeah.
We could have a PoP beard growing contest.
Yeah. You guys should see Ben Sweetman.
Yeah.
My money's on him for the beard. That guy's got some beard.
No, but we don't have to shave at the start of the contest.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not fair.
These comments stay. These comments don't stay there. I'm just going through the Yeah, Tristan, I'm not bald. Yeah. Actually, Paul's not bald either.
I'm not bald. I have hair.
I'm not bald. I
I
cut
have
my
hair.
hair
I
like
just cut it really short.
yeah. Dancing around the money. Now you mentioned it sounds on point, right? So I gotta check out all these things. Ooh. Yeah, Griff Dog, F shaving. Right. Yeah, Agent Orange. That's Warwick. Warwick saying it too. This is the other thing that's what made me think it through. If I go to Wonder Festival, the content will be fantastic. I'll need to pump out the videos. What it would do is make my life a lot harder because then I'd have loads of videos to process on my little 13-inch MacBook. And I was thinking, that'll suck. But well, let's see what we can do. There's ideas. I just wanted to throw it out there. And worst case is everything fails and we just slowly progress until it can happen more, like naturally, organically. I mean, that's worst case, is that it still happens later. And I'll be over there interviewing people going, do you remember making models? Yeah, well, it took me a long time to get back. Sorry, guys. I'm now 137. And Hilke will be like, you used to work for me? Get out of here. Why does everybody have that same old man voice? But that could be a lot of fun. But we'll see what we can do. I just wanted to throw the ideas out there. The group consciousness and collective mind can process it and come back and say, you're an idiot, go to hell. And then we can work with that. I think that's enough. I really thank you guys for going so long and for being two places at once, Andy, on chat and pretending to listen here.
I can multitask.
Yeah, and this was the first time. This one was really good. I mean, I don't trust any of the other guys to have them on the show. I was waiting for Paul's reaction. Yeah, I don't trust any of the other guys. Well, I thought what could be kind of fun. We could rotate through, have and try different combinations too. But it'd be good to have some of the guys on the show. But we'll see how we go. That could be kind of fun.
Well, you're gonna have. I'm not getting up at the butt crack of dawn every Sunday morning for you, so.
No. That would be too much of an ask. And Jacob could be, yeah. See, Jake Fowler. He sounds very manly. Remember that one? And I was hoping we could get Ryan on the show because people keep asking me questions that I can't answer.
But that happens constantly, right? So
I want to get people on the show that when they say, look, people have been asking me these questions, ask him. So like yesterday, people were saying, where is the Star Wars in Australia? Okay, it was online and in chat, but in my mind, that's how the voices sounded. Where's the Star Wars in Australia? And wait, let's see if somebody triggered. Triggered! And it would be great for two reasons for me. It's great to have people from the industry put them on the spot and embarrass them. But also to hear what they have, it's good to hear the kind of, this would be like a back channel explanation because there's some stuff that they can't say in their professional role, but they could mention on a YouTube show, especially when it was deep into it.
Yeah, because none of their bosses will ever watch YouTube.
Exactly, especially like 30 minutes into it, no one's scrolling through that. And the it's been super educational for me to hear how difficult some of the stuff is to get going and done. People hearing that, I think it would be very empowering because it's so easy for us to say, but you work for the man. And because I love that one. But when you actually talk with the man, hearing the challenges that they go through to get stuff into hands of the not man, it's actually quite interesting. Silence. No one cares, right? Yeah, thought that might be kind of cool too. Alrighty, we better cut it short because people complain. I had guys complaining that some of the videos were too long. I said, dude, it's a choice. You don't have to watch it. You can watch the short one. Really,
you can stop anytime.
Yeah, I said I'm not going to watch that. It's too long. Yeah. What kind of content do you want? I have short videos too. He says, no. Because of that, I'm unfollowing your channel. All right. All right. Obviously, I'm wrong. Sorry. And he said it's because YouTube has no content that is long.
Because logic.
Wow. Yes, logic. Yeah, that made perfect sense. Okay. Yeah, I better wrap it up. Thanks, guys, because it's getting late for you guys. It's still late, early for you, Paul. Thank you for being on the show. I think this was brilliant. It was much better than talking. We had 3. You guys didn't like that, did you? No.
I didn't hear that.
No, I didn't hear that either.
Ah, okay. That was even better then. I tried a group self-deprecating moment.
Oh, right, you were insulting us. Good.
Oh,
yeah.
great.
Yes. Yes. So in a friendly yet embracing way, I insulted all 3 of us. He went completely silent, and I thought, wow, that happened.
We were both trying to work out what you'd said.
It's like 3 monkeys.
Okay. Great, thanks, guys.
We gotta do.
We'll do a different one soon, and we'll get some other monkeys on the show, eh? More monkeys! Can that be a shirt?
Yes.
PoP, the show with more monkeys.
Yes.
I'll write that one down. That was good. Okay. See you guys.
I have a list of stuff.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having us. It's been cool.
The check is in the mail.
Yeah.
Okay. See ya.
Not
See you guys. Bye. Are they gone yet? You still there?
We're still here.
So am I the only one who can stop this?
Probably.
So we really could test out the 8-hour thing then.
Yeah, great.
Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye.